What's up, fellas? Welcome back to Effortless Gent. Today I want to give you 5 different tips to help you make sure that the clothes that you're wearing and the colors that you're wearing always match and always look good. Let's do that. Alright, so tip number 1. The easiest way to match your outfits is to not match at all. Now I know that's a little contradictory considering that this title and this video is all about how to match your clothing. But instead, I want you to consider this. I want you to think of this idea of complementing. You want to complement the colors that you wear. Okay, so let's get one thing out of the way first. You know when you go to a department store and you go to the shirt section, the formal wear section, and you see those matching tie and pocket square combinations? You want to avoid those pretty much completely. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with those, but when you match your tie and your pocket square fabric together, like exact matching, it never looks really good. What you want to do is make sure that your tie and your pocket squares colors and patterns complement each other. Okay, so what exactly are complementary colors? Now, if you're looking at the color wheel, these are the colors that are on the exact opposite sides of each other on the color wheel itself. So for example, you have red and green, yellow and purple, blue and orange. Now, knowing this information alone isn't super helpful because, really, do you bust out a color wheel every time that you want to get dressed? Like, nobody does that. So if you want to complement your colors, but you don't really want to stare at a color wheel or get things wrong, here's a quick tip. What you want to do is wear one of the colors in a really dark shade. So for example, let's take blue and orange. If you wear navy pants or a navy suit, an orange tie could look really cool. Let's say you want to wear a red shirt, like this one right here. Instead of wearing green pants, you're gonna look like a Christmas tree. You don't wanna wear bright green. What you could do is tone it down and wear olive chinos. Or you could wear like forest green chinos. Anything that's gonna take the color vibrancy down a little bit, and then you can wear complementary colors together. And you know that you're gonna look great. All right, tip number 2. This is a good one. I use this all the time, and I wanna make sure that you guys keep this in the back of your head as well because it's a super useful tool. And all the best dressed guys in the world use it as well, even though they may not be thinking about it or realizing it at the time. I call this tip menswear neutrals. Hashtag menswear neutrals. So what exactly is a neutral? Now, when you think of regular colors, they're usually anywhere on the gray spectrum between black and white. So those are typically considered neutrals in the traditional sense. But when it comes to clothing, I think it's a little bit different. Now here is a list of colors that I consider menswear neutrals. You have white, black, all shades of gray, navy, light blue, shades of brown like tan or khaki or British khaki, and olive. The reason that this is a trick that a lot of guys use is because really all of these menswear neutrals go well with each other. And on top of that, they go really well with every single other color out there. So you never have to worry about, am I matching? Do I clash? Do these colors not go together? If you put together any outfit with these menswear neutrals, you're gonna look great and your outfit is gonna match. If you wanna keep it really simple at first and you're still trying out these menswear neutrals, keep your dark colors at the bottom and your light colors up top. That's gonna make it really easy and sort of feel more natural to you. So for example, if you have dark denim jeans, throw on a white Oxford cloth button down or a light blue chambray. If you have olive chinos, you could wear a gray shirt up top, you could wear a white shirt, you could wear a chambray again, you could wear a denim top, but as long as you keep your dark colors at the bottom and your light colors up top, it'll work really well for you. Now, this isn't a hard and fast rule, but it does make things easier if you're unsure that you're doing this whole thing right. So if you want to feel better about it at first and you're not totally sure, just start with that. Start with making your dark colors at the bottom and your lighter colors up top. Right, so we have tip number 3. Now first we talked about complementary colors, right? Opposite sides of the color wheel, and you want to tone one down when you're wearing the other one. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is menswear neutrals. So all the colors that I mentioned in tip number 2, those all look great together. So you can wear them together, you can wear them with other colors. Now, this is my tip number 3, okay? The idea is that you want to have one pop of color. So if you're wearing menswear neutrals for a very long time and you're kind of getting tired of wearing the same colors over and over and you want to add a little bit of interest to your outfit, all you have to do is add one pop of color. Now the reason that this is easy is because if you're wearing an outfit full of menswear neutrals everything goes well together with each other, and any color that you throw in your outfit is gonna look great. So when you incorporate one pop of color, this is the easiest way to make your outfit more interesting and use these colors that you haven't really used before, because you're throwing them together with menswear neutrals, and you know that this one pop of color is gonna go great with everything else in your outfit. Tip number 4. This is a great tip. I'm calling this color profiles. Now my buddy Peter over at The Essential Man, I'm gonna link to his site below. He came up with this idea and it's actually super brilliant and actually really ingenious. I think you're gonna like it. Here's the thing, we all hate the color wheel, right? Like, so if you do a search on Google about how to match your clothes or how to look great in outfits, you're gonna find like all these articles about how to use the color wheel to find colors that match. But honestly, like, who does that? Who likes a color wheel? Like, nobody can use the color wheel to match outfits. No one has a photo or a printout of a color wheel and is like looking in their closet, like trying to figure out what's where. Like, nobody does that. That's like super impossible and not practical at all. So instead, a good way to think about matching your outfits is to think about how you cook different cuisines. So here's what I mean. If you're gonna cook Mexican food, what kind of spices and ingredients come to mind? For me, it's like cumin, garlic, chili, jalapenos, what else? Cilantro. What about Indian food? If I was gonna cook an Indian dish, I would think about maybe some curries, coriander, cloves, cumin. How many spices with C's can I think of? What about Chinese food? What do you think of? I think of soy, garlic, scallions, chili oil, things like that. You get the idea. These ingredients, these spices, they all come together and they make you think of a specific flavor profile. And once you think of this flavor profile, you automatically think of this specific cuisine. So you may be wondering, how does flavor profiles or how does cooking relate to dressing well or matching? Well, instead of flavor profiles, what you want to think of is color profiles. So how flavor profiles relate to a certain taste or a certain idea of what a cuisine is, color profiles make you think of a certain look or a certain style of clothing. So a good example of this is like when I mentioned menswear neutrals earlier. Menswear neutrals, it has specific colors that like black, white, gray, navy, khaki, white, like those sort of things makes me think of a neutral look. Like there are other color profiles I can think of, like Americana or monochrome or oceanside, which I just made up right now. Like things like this are exactly what I mean when I talk about color profiles and how those specific colors kind of bring me to this place of, okay, if I'm wearing this thing, I can picture where I am and where I'm wearing it to. The point of all of this is that you want to have a general understanding of how colors work. You don't necessarily have to understand what matches with what, or what's complementary, what's triad, what's split complementary. You don't have to know any of that stuff. What you do want to know is just a general, like, sort of understanding and idea of how colors work together. Just like flavors and a flavor profile of a certain cuisine, and then you can put together these colors to have a certain kind of look. It's similar to tasting Chinese food for the first time. Just imagine that you've never eaten Chinese food before and you eat it for one meal every day for a whole week. And then the next week, you're blindfolded and you're fed salads and you're fed Mexican food and all this random stuff. But then one day, someone sticks a piece of Kung Pao chicken in your mouth. You're gonna recognize those flavors and realize, hey, that's Chinese food. I totally ate that like all last week. The same idea goes for outfits. Now, if you recognize and you look at colors, not necessarily specific colors, but you look at like groups of colors and how they work together, once you understand that, then it's easier to put together color profiles. And from there, you can easily put together different outfits based on these color profiles that you already sort of intuitively and instinctively understand. Now, unfortunately, there's no like book out there, there's no like master text that lists all the different types of color profiles. Honestly, they're just kind of made up. So let me give you a good example right here. So let's go back to this idea of like oceanfront. Like I totally made this up. Okay, what does an oceanfront color, I was about to say color flavor, color profile look like? When I think of oceanfront, when I think of beach or like warm weather, what I think of is like colors like white, light blue, light gray, khaki, light, like cream. I think of these sort of colors. So if you're heading to the beach, if you're heading to Miami or Hawaii and you need to pack and you need to figure out what am I gonna bring, you know, I probably shouldn't bring like all black clothing. I should probably maybe pack more of an oceanside color palette. So I should probably bring stuff that's white. I should probably bring stuff that's light blue, or maybe like a light blue and light white striped shirt. Light white doesn't even make sense. I would bring like chinos and like lighter fabrics, light gray. Those are the kind of colors and the kind of textures that you want when you are oceanside, when you are sitting in a place that has a beach that's really hot and humid and you want to stay cool. I'm not sure how great of a job I did explaining that, but color profiles can be really helpful, and it helps you to be more instinctual about colors in general, so you don't have to depend on a color wheel to put together a good looking outfit. Now, my buddy Peter from The Essential Man put together a really dope post about how to do this exactly, and he has great pictures and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to that in the description below. Make sure you click through and read his post. It's really helpful, and the idea of color profiles and how it relates to cooking and how it all makes sense to you, it's going to be great. So just make sure you go ahead, like scroll down and click that post, and it's going to be super helpful. All right, so all this talk about matching colors, actually not matching colors, instead complementing, you may wonder, what exactly should you be matching instead? Well, I have 2, maybe 3 things that you should definitely be matching all the time. One, what you want to match is leathers. So if you're wearing a black leather jacket like I am right now, and you're thinking about wearing leather boots or leather sneakers or something, you're gonna wanna wear black leather sneakers or leather shoes. You don't wanna wear dark brown, you don't wanna wear light brown leather, you don't wanna wear any of that stuff, because leathers should generally always match. Same goes with your belt, and to some extent your watch strap. If you're wearing a leather watch band, you're gonna want that to match as well. It's not a huge deal if your leather watch band doesn't match, but I mean, if you're matching everything else in your outfit when it comes to your leathers, then you're gonna wanna match your leather band as well. But at least you want to match your jacket and your shoes, and to some extent your belt, because that's what matters the most when it comes to leathers. You also want to match your metals as close as possible. So if you're wearing a gold wedding ring, ideally you have a watch that is also a yellow metal, and you have a necklace. If you're wearing a necklace, your necklace is also a yellow metal, and your belt is also a yellow metal. You want to match everything as much as possible. Now, it's not that big of a deal if your belt and let's say you have shoes that have a buckle on them, like a double mock strap. If that's not yellow too, it's kind of okay. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Ideally, if you can though, you want to match like everything that you're wearing. As an example, I have my wedding ring. I don't know if you can see this. Boom. Anyway, my wedding ring has, it's yellow and white metal. So this kind of gives me the liberty to wear both together, because I mean, my ring, which is like the central sort of like piece of my whole jewelry aesthetic, has both metals in it. So I can wear a yellow necklace, a yellow metal necklace, which I'm wearing right now, and I actually wear a steel watch, and it's a white metal. So it doesn't really matter at that point, because my ring sort of has both in it. So if you're in a position where your ring has both, or you want to mix it here and there, that's totally okay. I think ideally though, if you can match all your metals, that's probably the safest way to go. All right, fellas, well that's it. That's all I got for you. I hope these 5 tips helped you, and I hope it sort of got your gears turning, started making me think about, what can I wear in my closet? What do I have in there that'll match well? What do I have in there that's gonna complement each other good? That's what I wanna get you thinking about. So if you're interested, I actually put together a ebook called Match Clothes Like a Pro. Now that ebook dives super deep into how to match clothing, what looks really good together, different combinations of clothing, different combinations as far as like winter or summer, or if you live in a hot climate versus a warm climate, go-to combinations, things like that. The ebook is really extensive, and I think it's really amazing. I'm super proud of it. If you're interested, I'm going to drop a link in the description below. I also am probably going to print it somewhere here on the video. I hope you check it out. I think it's a really good ebook, and I think it'll really help you, especially if you have been struggling with matching clothing and trying to sort of make sense of it all. Please, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment area, which is It's down there. It's down there somewhere. Just leave a comment down there. I'll be sure to answer it, and I want to help you as much as possible. So go ahead and ask me your questions there, and I will get back to you. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and of course, if you think this is a great channel for you and it resonates and it makes sense, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here on this channel with me. I do these videos for you guys, and I want to be as helpful as possible. So hit subscribe and hit that little notification bell, because that lets you know when I release a new video. That's really it. I will see you in the next video right here on Effortless Gent. Sorry. Wow, I can't believe this is so hard. Cocktail.